Hello.
Oh, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
Good. What about you?
Doing well. Thank you.
Okay. Where did you spend your last day of the year for the Christmas?
So for Christmas, I was at home and
Oh,
it's only the 30th, so I'm still have one more day left.
you never go anywhere?
No, my family's away, so there's nowhere really to go, so I'm just at home.
Oh, you spend your day with the last day of this year, 2023, at home?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thanks. Happy New Year. Let me ask you about the idioms. Do you
Okay.
know idioms? Can you
Mhm.
definition it for the idioms?
An actual definition?
Yes, definition.
Oh,
Definition or definition?
definition.
Definition. Definition is wrong.
Um, like definition. You can pronounce it as that,
Mm,
but other people also pronounce it as definition.
yes.
Uh, to think of like, I'm thinking like trying to find a technical definition
Mm,
for it for an idiom. I guess you could probably say it's a phrase or expression normally used. So it's normally like figurative. So it's not truly the exact like thing. So for example, like it's raining cats and dogs, but it's not actually raining cats and dogs. It's just an expression.
yes, I read. It's not right when I want to look for about the definition for the verbs, phrasal verbs, idioms, grammar, anything. Look for about the in the dictionary. Is that right to look for the definition for the anything in dictionary?
I mean, I would definitely use it as a reference, yes, because it's going to
Mm.
tell you what we consider
Yes,
those types of grammar.
yes. I look for about the definition in the dictionary. I found it. Unfortunately, in the memory, a flash memory, not on desktop. Yes. Let me discuss about something. The idioms. A
Okay.
blessing disguise. Do you know the blessing disguise?
A blessing in disguise.
Yes, that's a good thing that seemed bad first. For example, losing that job was a blessing disguise.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, a blessing in disguise,
Yes.
even though it's something that maybe wasn't ideal for something to happen, it ended
Mm.
up being a good thing in the end.
Yes. Pictures worth thousand words.
Yeah. It just essentially that a picture says a lot.
Yes, pictures tells the story just as well as if not written down better words. For example, please could you sketch out a flower plant? A picture is worth thousand words.
Mhm.
Okay.
Just
Number three, it's piece of cake.
easy.
Easy, yes, that's easy. For example, that exam was a piece of cake.
Mhm.
Do you use the a British idiom in the American English, or just or there's a specific idiom for the American?
A lot of like American English.
Mm,
Normally, we don't really share idioms with England, just because there's they use a lot of old English, So a lot of the idioms that they
What
use,
old English?
Old English,
And this is
or
for the American people or British people?
British people.
British people. It's different for the English right now.
So you can still, I mean, we use generally the same type of English. However, they do incorporate Old English in their vocabulary still. So a lot of their sayings come from Old English. So they're
Mm,
not necessarily something that um, I guess America would understand, or the U.S., in English would understand, just because
mm.
we are, I guess, more modernized. And because they are an older society, they have older sayings.
Okay. I don't understand this idioms. Barking up the wrong tree. Do you know these idioms?
So if
Barking
someone's
up the wrong.
barking up the wrong tree, that means you're asking the wrong person. So,
Ah,
say for example,
can
somebody's
yes, for
asking you
example.
something,
Yes.
and their response might be saying, "Oh, you're barking up the wrong tree." That means that you're asking the wrong person, whatever you're asking them.
For example, to ask teacher about I have a headache.
Then they would most likely say, like, "Oh, you're barking up the wrong tree." Like if you're trying to get help. So, for example,
Uh,
like, I have a headache. Can you help me? Then they may say, "Oh, you're barking up the wrong tree. You need to go see the nurse." So you're talking to
uh,
the wrong person. You need to go see this person instead.
this mean to be wrong about something, about some way to achieve something or reason for something. Barking up the wrong tree.
Um, I mean, normally you don't use it normally in a professional sense.
Mm.
The only time you'll ever really hear people use it is if maybe you're, I guess, in a more casual workplace, but normally not in anything that's corporate.
Mm. And the fourth idioms is actions speak louder than words.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know this?
Yes. So
Mm.
actions speak louder than words is essentially saying that you actively doing something, you like putting something in motion is better than you just saying it. Because anyone can say that they're going to do something, but then if you follow through and actually do it, that's different.
What someone actually does mean more than they will say they will do. For example, I'm
So,
going to wait him to show me he loves me because actions speak louder than words. For add insult to injury.
mm, yeah, adding
Add
insult
insult
to
to injury.
injury is like
Yes, this may make bad situation worse. For example, I was late. Add insult to injury. I forget my keys.
I mean, yeah, you could say that. Or you could say I was late to work and add in I was late to work, and to add insult to injury,
Yes.
I had a really big meeting that I missed.
Mm.
Or you could say something of like I was running late for work, and add insult to injury, I got
Yeah.
into a car accident. So on top of something
Okay.
really bad happening, something else additionally bad happened.
Okay. What about the as cheap as chips?
The what?
As cheap as chips. As cheap as chips.
As she was ships?
As cheap as chips. As cheap as chips.
As she is
That's mean
sheep?
it's really cheap. Something it's real cheap. As cheap
As,
as chips. As cheap
as
as chips. If you don't understand, you can take course with me. You can take course with me to learn this idioms.
I've
As cheap as
never
chips.
I've never heard that phrase before.
Uh, as cheap as chips. As cheap
As,
as chips.
as cheap as chips. Yeah, I've never heard that phrase.
Yeah, really? This means it's very cheap. Don't worry about paying me back. That was cheap as chips.
Okay.
Do you know that this idiom is dime dozen?
You say like you saying a dime a dozen?
It's similar dime dozen. Maybe
No,
American people, maybe
a dime.
American people to say the dime dozen, but the British people to say it as chips chips.
No, that's an entirely different
Mm.
phrase. If you see something
Ah,
as a dime a dozen,
uh,
that's not what that means. So, oh, they're
uh.
just a dime a dozen. That means that they're everywhere.
You think
It
that
doesn't. It's not
dime dozen
talking
it's
about like what.
really cheap?
No, a dime a dozen does not mean that. So a dime a dozen
Mm.
means that there is something everywhere. So
Ah,
that means there's so much of a
yes.
variety of something. It's not about price.
Okay, okay.
It's about there being so much quantity of something that it's a dime a
Yes.
dozen because there's so much of it. But it's not about price, like about something being cheap.
Yes. Okay. What about the beat around bush? Beat
Yeah, it's
around
about beat
bush.
around the bush, which is to beat around the bush just means that you're not getting to the point of the topic. You're bringing up other things until you get to the topic. So most people, when they use beat around the bush, they normally say the phrase, let's not beat around the bush, which just means let's get to the point.
Okay. What about letter better late than
Better
never?
late than never.
Better to that's mean to better to go late better than never not go.
So better late than never is that something has happened and it was better that it happened than to have it not happen at
Mm.
all. Mhm.
Mm. Okay. What about the bite the bullet? To eat
Bite
the
the bullet.
bite?
Yeah,
To
if you're
eat the
trying to bite
bite?
the bullet, that means you're trying to get something over with. Let's just bite the bullet.
Oh.
Let's get it done. And it's normally
Mm.
something that you're not looking forward to. So if you hear somebody say, okay, well, let's just bite the bullet, that means they just want to get whatever it is over with.
Okay. Do you have website to help me with listening, speaking, reading, writing?
I don't have a specific website.
Mm.
A lot of times I just reference students, to pay attention to either conversations that you may hear in you like either in YouTube or if there's any kind of podcasts that you like have any
Mm.
interest in. Just because one, it does help you practice listening to people at a pretty consistent pace. So I know if you find something that you like as a topic,
Mm.
then maybe finding a podcast that goes over that topic that you enjoy, then at least that way you're enjoying the topic that they're talking about, but you also get practice listening to it in English. But there's all kinds of information on YouTube as well. So if you have access to that, I highly recommend that too. If there's a specific topic you want to listen
Uh,
to, you can just type it
it's
in.
it's okay to follow the or listen to the anything without ordinary to listen the story, listen to the movie, listen to the news, listen to the drama. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything that you find that you are interested in that you want to listen to or watch, yeah, I mean,
Mm.
if you ever have issues regarding maybe they're talking too fast, then if you're listening on any digital platforms, you can always slow down. So playback speed, you can always slow it down or you can always add subtitles. A lot of times those will pop up. You can follow along with those as you're listening. So if you do have issues following along because they're talking too fast, that's an option you do have.
Okay, time up. What about my English?
It's good. The only thing I couldn't quite get at first was cheaper than chips. But other than that, you're fine.
You mean in my English language as chips chips?
Cheapest chips, but it's because I've never heard it before. So other than that,
It's
I thought
good,
it was
but
fine.
it's my English good.
Overall, I think it was pretty good.
B1 or B2?
I would say probably like a B1,
Mm.
working towards a B2.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day. Goodbye.